YSN Radio. And you're rocking with the man YSN, and you're tuning in to an episode of YSN Radio, the coolest podcast in the South. Got a very special guest on the line with me right now, all the way from Baltimore. We got B More in the house. Shout out to the Ravens. We got Miss KNIKA on the line. How you doing?
I'm doing good, YSN. I'm so happy to be with you tonight.
Pleasure is all mine. So, like I said, Baltimore native. Talk about what was it like growing up in Baltimore, and how'd you get into music?
Baltimore is that home of great food. I mean, you probably know about great food in Tennessee, but we are the seafood capital. So we have the best crabs for starters. And if you know anything about talent by way of the industry, there's been some phenomenal artists come from Baltimore, Drew Hill, and of course, you know, the famous Billie Holiday and UB Blake. It's an amazing place to be in, and there's just so much diversity by way of the sound. And so I got into music actually starting from the choir, like I think a lot of us singers do. And so I gravitated from there into musical theater, and then, you know, just had a love to be able to kind of do more. And so eventually I ended up landing with a rock band as like the lead singer called the Upstarters. And before I knew it, then I was like taking poetry and flipping poetry into lyrics, and taking lyrics and then putting them to melodies to kind of create songs. And then lo and behold, I found myself like completely in love with the music and getting music out, but getting out quality music with a message that you can dance to, music that will sometimes have us to talk about topics that maybe we only talk about in our own private spaces, but can actually, if we bring it outside of our homes, can actually fuel action and fuel people to do something more with what's going on around us. So
I got you. I like how you said music that actually means something, music with substance. Bringing that to your new single, It's My Body. Talk about how this record come together.
It's My Body, first and foremost, is a song that serves as an anthem for women's rights and bodily autonomy. It emphasizes that every woman should have the right to make choices about her own body without government interference. But this song also connects women's rights to other pressing social issues such as gun violence and poverty, climate change. We're still trying to get the right to vote, right? So it really just goes to, you know, talk about a broader struggle that women's rights have as part of justice and equality. And so almost a year before Roe v. Wade was overturned, there was a lot of, you know, noise in the streets with women who, you know, were showing up, protesting and saying, hey, you know, I'm hearing something's happening, maybe it could happen in my state. And I don't want to be victim to a governmental body telling me that I can't do what I want to with my body. And so as a singer, as a songwriter, I have a songwriting partner who happens to be a male. And, you know, we had this really cool Afrobeat song, and, you know, and I firmly believe that music lets you know what types of lyrics that should be written to it. You know, wrote the song, was a year before Roe v. Wade, as I said, and then all of a sudden we heard it's done. And so we were sitting with the thought of like, what do we do next? How do we take this song to let it be a vehicle for other women who want to express their outrage, their frustration, and who want to get involved in a very specific way to say, hey, we won't take this lying down. We want to maintain our rights. And so, you know, that's how we utilize this song to advocate for those policies to protect all individuals' rights and their well-being.
Especially in today's political climate, addressing an issue as pertinent as that is very vital, you know, because a lot of musicians are not talking about, you know, the important issues. And I feel like, especially during this election cycle, body autonomy is a hot button issue. You know, that being said, what has been the reception of the song amongst women and men since you put it out?
You know, it's been phenomenal. And I think, you know, coming into realizing this was going to be our first single, for instance, out of this project, I was a little bit nervous because you don't know, like, you know, we are in a very much cancel culture. And so, you know, all I knew that I was speaking my truth. And in that, I felt as though that the tribe that was mine to be able to hear it and say, okay, yes, I feel you, would be that tribe. And so it's been really interesting. No matter where I've shared this song, everybody has really rallied around the themes in this song and have helped us to really push this song very far. And so I'm, you know, very gracious because, again, like to your point, like, you know, the industry shows us a lot of times, especially as independent artists, that if we come with anything outside of what is supposed to be the norm, then it's not a song that's going to make it.
YSN Radio.